Once you've unboxed the refrigerator, check that you have all of the additional components required for the installation. Check the alcove within the cabinetry has been prepared to an overall height of 84 inches, an overall width of 36 inches, and an overall depth of 24.5 inches. The recommended placement of the power and water connection is recessed into the bottom of the alcove, or alternatively, the connections can be in the space either side of the alcove. When installing custom panels on the non-ice and water model, check the panel measurements to ensure they are 49 and 9/32 of an inch by 17 3/4 of an inch for the door panels, and a height of between 28 and 7/16 of an inch to 30 and 13/32 of an inch, with a width of 35 and 21/32 of an inch for the drawer panel. Panels must be between the thickness of 5/8 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch. The maximum weight of the top door panel cannot exceed 22 pounds, and the maximum weight of the bottom drawer panel cannot exceed 24.5 pounds. Check the pilot holes have been correctly prepared for brackets on each panel. Install 3 trim brackets on each side of the alcove at the heights of 10 inches, 40 inches, and 80 inches measured from the ground. When installing on framed cabinetry, break the datum lip and mark 3/4 of an inch from the edge of the frame. Before fixing the brackets, make sure all of the datum lips have been snapped off and fix the brackets to the wall through the pilot holes using 2 wood screws for each bracket. Install 3 trim brackets on either side of the alcove at the heights of 10 inches, 40 inches, and 80 inches measured from the ground. When installing on unframed cabinetry, use the datum lip to mark the spots to drill your pilot holes. Before fixing the brackets, make sure all of the datum lips have been snapped off and fix the brackets to the wall through the pilot holes using 2 wood screws for each bracket. The anti-tip bracket needs to be installed to ensure the refrigerator does not tip. To apply the bracket, firstly project the top front edge of the finished enclosure to the center of the back wall. Then subtract 6 and 15/32 of an inch. This will give you the placement to make the marking for the anti-tip bracket. Place the bracket so the bottom edge of the contact surface sits on the mark. Ensure the bracket is secured to structural beams or wall studs closest to the center of the alcove. The bracket needs to overlap the refrigerator by a minimum of 2 3/8 of an inch. A solid wood spacer is required when the 2 3/8 of an inch overlap cannot be achieved. For solid wall installation, ensure masonry plugs and screws are used. Before attaching the top trim, you'll need to fix the joining brackets to it. Insert the M5 nuts into the top and bottom slide on both sides. Secure the joining brackets to the top trim using the M5 panhead screws 13 inches from each side. Once both brackets are secured, safely attach the top trim to the top of the refrigerator behind the existing trim. Fix the top trim through the keyholes of the joining brackets. Make sure the top trim is aligned and then tighten the screws to lock the top trim into position. A side bracket needs to be fixed to both sides near the base of the refrigerator. Attach each bracket through the threaded holes using M5 countersunk Phillips screws. When installing on unframed cabinetry, the aiders help when inserting the refrigerator into the alcove. Each aider has a set of dimension tabs designed for the different thicknesses of the door panels. Consult your user manual for details on selecting the correct aider tab. Once the correct tab has been selected and the other tabs snapped off, attach an aider to the 4 side brackets using the M5 countersunk Phillips screws. To connect the water connection, use the supplied stainless steel braided hose. Ensure the power is not connected when connecting the water. Firmly insert the hose into the PLV at least 5/8 of an inch. Once the hose is inserted, gently pull on the hose to ensure it's locked and then attach the locking key. When the water hose is connected to the PLV, push the water hose through the hole to the back right-hand corner of the refrigerator. Twist the hose twice clockwise to make the hose coil and then connect the hose to the faucet and turn on. Once the water has been connected, connect the power cord to the power socket. Slide the refrigerator into the alcove. You will need to stop halfway and pull the excess power cord and tuck the water hose above the bracket at the bottom of the refrigerator. The refrigerator has been pushed into the alcove when it's aligned with the front of the cabinetry frame. You should feel the refrigerator slide in under the anti-tip bracket. Slide the refrigerator into the alcove. You'll need to stop halfway and pull through the excess power cord and tuck the water hose above the bracket at the bottom of the refrigerator. The refrigerator has been fully pushed into the alcove when 1/8 from each side comes into contact with the cabinetry. You should feel the refrigerator slide in under the anti-tip bracket. The refrigerator now needs to be aligned so all 4 corners are supported on the floor and the refrigerator sits flush with the cabinetry frame. Use a 7 1/16 of an inch hex socket to turn the bottom supports. One full turn is equivalent to a 1 1/16 of an inch height adjustment. The refrigerator now needs to be levelled so all 4 corners are supported on the floor and the aiders are all flush with the cabinetry. Use a 7 1/16 of an inch hex socket to turn the bottom supports. One full turn is equivalent to a 1 1/16 of an inch height adjustment. Remove each aider from the side brackets and then temporarily fix the refrigerator by inserting the 8G by 19 twin thread screw to the front hole of each top side bracket. The water filter is installed in behind the top kick strip. Remove the protective cap from the filter and then slide into place. Use the filter tool to tighten. Fit the kick strip filter into the rails and slide in. Align the top grill clips to the top plinth slots and then push firmly until it clips into place. To prepare the door panels, firstly attach the handles and then the brackets. Attach the handles to the 3 panels through the pilot holes. For custom panels, use the specifications supplied with the panels. When the handles have been attached, fit the hanging bracket through the pilot holes using the M5 by 14 mush Phillips screws. When fitting the hanging bracket to custom panels, use the washer screws. Once the hanging bracket has been fitted, fit the side brackets and straps using the same screws as the hanging bracket. Repeat the above steps so both door panels have a hanging bracket and 4 side brackets and straps. The drawer panel also has a hanging bracket with 2 side brackets and straps. To hang the door panels, start by securing the top studs into the refrigerator doors. Ensure the open end faces the top. Then secure the 4 side screws midway in both doors and 2 side screws for the drawer. Once the top studs and side screws have been secured, hang the door panel onto the top studs and then align the side bracket forks in the body of the side screws. Align the door flush with the adjacent cabinetry, then adjust the height of the door panels by turning the top stud clockwise to raise or anti-clockwise to lower. Once the door panels are flush, secure the top studs using the M8 washer and nut. Then tighten the side studs to secure the side brackets. Firstly, you will need to attach the visual display module to the door panel. To attach the visual display module, thread the harness through the door panel and ensure the grommet is engaged correctly. Then angle the top tabs of the display module into the door panel while keeping the harness free of pinching. Firmly press against the bottom of the display module until you feel it clip in securely. Make sure the display module is flush with the door panel. Next, hang the panel and then connect the visual door harness module onto the door, making sure it clips in securely. Take the water hose and firmly press it into the spigot on the back of the door panel until the marked line is not visible. Lastly, attach the door panel using the same process as the non-ice and water model. Once the door panels have been attached and are level with the cabinetry frame, push the refrigerator in so the door panels sit flush with the cabinetry frame. Firstly, attach the fixing bracket to the side bracket using the M5 countersunk Phillips screw. For unframed installation, once the mounting bracket has been fixed, remove the temporary screw in the front hole of the bracket. Now secure the mounting bracket to the cabinetry using the G8 by 19 twin thread screws with the back screw inserted on an angle. When both screws have been secured tightly, slide the screw cover between the side bracket and the fixing bracket and then tighten. Repeat for all 4 side brackets. When attaching the kick strip grille to a 4-inch toe kick strip, attach the grille with the overhang facing upwards and outwards. Align the grille clips to the bottom of the plinth and then push firmly until it clicks into place. If installing into a kitchen using 6-inch toe kick strips, refer to the user manual. Once the kick strip is in place, align the airflow divider underneath the overhang at the point on the indicator and clip onto the vanes. Attach the mounting covers to hide the top studs and side screws by pressing the cover into the gaps provided. Insert the side trim into the gap between the refrigerator and the cabinet with the lip facing outwards and press firmly until you feel it click into place on the trim bracket. Make sure the display module is flush with the door panel.